would like to share some information with you on how to protect your identity. Please bear with me for a moment. I will address my notes so that I don't leave anything out in this particular video. How to protect your identity. These are things that I do personally. Um, Anytime you receive mail, be it regular mail, bills, correspondence, bank information, and so forth, when you decide that you don't want that mail anymore and you want to discard it or throw it away, if you decide to throw it in the trash, make sure that you get rid of your name and your address. Don't assume that people will not go in your garbage and check your stuff out. You just don't know. It could be people for the purpose of identity theft, it could be, or it could be someone that works for a government agency, could be that as well, and so on. So, what I would advise is that if you have any address labels on your mail that denote your name and your address specifically, take a permanent black marker, scratch it out thoroughly, or invest in a paper shredder and shred all of that stuff. That way you don't have to worry about people obtaining your information from the garbage. Real simple to do. Uh, Number two, don't give out your personal information such as your social security number and your full name and your uh, other personal information, even your phone number when you call somewhere. Don't give them your personal information over the phone. Now, oftentimes when you have an account with someone, they may ask you for verification. Uh, Set up something between you and the other party so that they know that you are trying to protect your privacy and that you will not like to disclose that information over the line, over the phone, in other words, because you want to protect your information. And sometimes you might have an ANSI representative that says that it's protected and you don't have to worry about this, it won't get out, and so on and so forth. But you should be smart enough to know that people do listen into your phone calls. And I've said it in a previous video, people listen to your phone calls. Whether you want to accept it or not, just gird up your loins and just follow that simple advice that I just gave you. Don't give your social security number out over the phone. Sometimes organizations might ask you for the last four digits. That may be okay, use your own discretion. But when you have to start from the beginning to the end, do not give your social security number out over the phone, especially that, and your full name and things like that. And also, while I'm on that subject, make sure, since our phones are being surveilled, they're being tapped into, make sure that when you have conversations with close friends and family and whomever, be careful what you talk about. When you start talking about your intimate personal life on the phone, keep it in general terms and don't be too specific. If you want to talk to them about your personal issues, go to their home or have them come to you, go out for lunch or what have you, and then you could talk about all those things you want to talk to on the phone. Oftentimes it's an oversight. People don't really think that someone is prying into their business on the phone, but they are listening to you all of the time. So if you're going to have to divulge any personal information about you, your life, or things that's going on in your personal life, understand this, that we are being watched and we're being listened to all of the time. And this is not a conspiracy theory. This is just the world that we live in. Okay? Um, when you have a credit card or bank card that has your account number and your name on it, the same thing is true. Destroy it. Take you some scissors, cut the credit cards completely up, cut the bank cards completely up, into several pieces, and put them in two separate places, like two separate garbage cans and not the same one, so people don't try to piece it together. Make it difficult for a thief or an interloper, if you will, from reading your credit card information. Get completely control of that by destroying the card utterly. Okay? Don't put your business out on social media. I know we have friends on social media, be it Facebook, YouTube, and so forth, but so many people have made this mistake. Don't forget, law enforcement and the government agencies all have YouTube accounts. They all have Facebook accounts. They all have Twitter accounts. They track you through social media as well. If you're ever suspected, and I'm not talking about anybody committing crimes, intentionally and so forth, but I'm saying if you're ever suspected of doing anything, you had better believe that government agencies will leave no stones unturned in their quest to find information on you. So they're going to take to social media and they're going to find information out because you give it to them. So when you're on social media, don't talk about all of your intimate information again, and don't talk about the people that you're dating in an intimate way. Speak in general terms always. Okay, social media can be good and can also be bad, so you have to understand to govern yourself accordingly. Another thing that I have run into in my life coming up, and some of you may have experienced this as well. When you get a phone call and you say hello and it's quiet, and then you say hello a second or a third time, then someone speaks. Understand this is a tactic that's used oftentimes by government agencies. It's also used by credit collectors, where they turn a tape recorder on after you answer the first time. Okay, so don't fall for that. If you say hello and the phone has at least rung for 2 or 3 times, you know that that person is going to be there. So when you say hello and then they don't answer, and you say hello again, then they begin to talk, hang up, especially if you don't know who it is. There's nothing wrong with saying no. There's nothing wrong with denying someone, in answering your phone. That's your choice. It's your privilege to answer your phone. If it's important enough, they'll leave a message. And if a person doesn't leave a message and it's an unknown number, you're not obligated to call that number. That's a choice. So don't think that you're missing out on something. If it's important enough, they will leave you a message. Understand that. And that's also family included. If you're calling me for something and you really want some information from me, you want to have a conversation with me, then you would do your own due diligence and you'll be courteous enough to leave a phone number and your name and who you are and what you represent on my voicemail or my answer machine, whatever the case is. But to not say anything at all, and especially when a person continues to call you from the same number and leave no messages, something is up, something is awry. So understand it as well. Don't answer questions directly. If you're on the street, how many of you have ever been approached by someone to say, "Is your name John?" And you say, "Yeah." They can pull a gun out and blow your brains out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the truth. It happens in everyday America all of the time. Or, "Is your name Robert?" "Oh, yeah, my name Robert." And then say, "Yeah, this is him." And then somebody comes and jumps on you and beats you up. It could be something legitimate that you've done to someone in time past. It could be a case of mistaken identity. It could be whatever. You don't know. So don't answer questions directly when you're in the street. Even if a police officer walks up to you and say, "Who are you? What is your name?" They have no right to do that unless they suspect you of a crime, and you have to tell them that. "Do you suspect me of a crime?" If he asks you a question, you answer with a question. Don't answer directly. So, "Are you so and so? What is this all about, officer? What's going on?" And if he asks you, you continue that. "I'm asking you, do you think that I'm a certain person, or are you mistaking me for someone? I asked you a question." He might come back again. You say, "No, what is this all about?" You have a right as a human being and as a citizen to ask questions. Okay, understand that. We're not living on a slave plantation anymore. All right? Now, as far as a civilian or a person just like you stepping up to you again and they ask you, "Are you Joe?" And you say, "What's this all about?" And once they explain it to you and you feel comfortable again, then you can have that conversation with that person. But you don't owe them anything either. Understand your freedoms and your rights. Okay? Now, finally, in this particular video, I'm talking about the security of your home. Don't invite people to your house that you really don't know. If there's people that you know intimately or very closely, friends and family, that's one thing. But just complete strangers coming in your house, and if, let's say, you had the cable man come in or someone from direct TV or satellite TV or some service person coming to your home, watch them, follow them around around your house, and kind of observe them without being intimidating, to them at the same time. And just be careful who it is that you let in your house. Never let police officers in your home. Talk to them at the door, because people have a tendency to come in and start to scrutinize your home and see what you have and find out more about you from what they see in your home. They stay outside on the porch or the doorstep, and you talk to them from that point, because once you allow police officers or government officials in your home, you have given them precedence, or you have given them jurisdiction to come in, and they can do whatever they want to once they come into your home threshold. Did you not know that? But now you do. Now, while you're in your home, you need to understand this. We've heard the old expression that this is my castle, this is my refuge, and so forth. That is so true. Howbeit, even within your own castle, you have to take certain precautions. All important papers, birth certificates, social security cards, court papers, rent receipts, bills, utilities, phone, whatever. Take this extra set of information from me on this last point. Invest in a safe that's large enough to house all of the things that I just mentioned, and anything else that you deem important or of value. Anything containing your information, again. Some people, because it's inside the confines of their house, their four walls or what have you, and they have a reasonable amount of security, they think, maybe even a dog, don't assume that you're safe. Sometimes people that you might think well might come in your home. They might pick up a bill and see some information. They might pick up some court papers about you. Keep everything organized. There is an order of things, and you should have a certain structure in your own personal life where you have an order of things. I personally have a file cabinet that locks. I have all of my bills, all of my important papers in that file cabinet, and it's under lock and key. Now, even though it's under lock and key, it can probably still be broken into, but it is still a safe measure or safeguard. If someone just walks past and they see it locked, they just can't easily pull a drawer out and just have access to things that are personal to me. So understand that. Keep all of your personal effects as it relates to your business, your personal business, your birth, your social security card and a number and all that kind of stuff, all of your bills and things like that. You keep them all locked inside of at least a 2-drawer file cabinet, because if you're at my age, from the age of 20 to 50 or 60 or 70, you have accumulated a lot of information on your own personal life. And you don't want the general public just to come in and have their way with your information, and then there are things about you probably don't want people to know. That includes family. And there's nothing wrong with securing your own personal things within your own personal home. Understand that. So if you have any further questions about how to protect your identity and how to take care of the administrative things in your life, please leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will be glad to get back with you. And again, this is Brother Teacher. I will see you in the next video.